Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my guidepost, my daily inspiration, my attempt to set you and me on our way today with just an inspirational thought in our minds. And today's thought is based on the 74th verse of the Tao Te Ching, and it is called No Fear, and I'm going to read it to you now. Melting into the oneness like a snowflake, beautiful, solid, liquid vapor, just like me and you. A day ahead when you and I will just be quiet dust, our summer's nimble mansion gone, and we'll leave humanity without fuss. Imagine then the day when you have breathed your last, the world goes by without you, and this life for you is past. Die to your ego and let your desires leave. Rise above the earth now so you can believe. Have no desire to hold on to a fading epitaph. Your life of no fear has begun. You can smile and laugh. Allow the Tao to teach you when life begins and ends, and without fear, your remaining days on earth, you can now spend. So, as usual with my poems that I've written based on the Tao Te Ching, I'm sure that people could read verse 74 and come up with a completely different view. This is just my impression. We are, according to the Tao, just this little popping up of life. It's like a lovely little crocus that comes up in the spring, and then it dies back, and then maybe it comes back next time. I don't know, next spring. Is it a perennial or crocus? Anyway, we just come here for a short while, and then we're gone, and we melt back into the oneness from which we came. It's almost like a snowflake, this momentary life that we have. It melts, it falls to the ground, and that's it. But how beautiful that snowflake is. Every single snowflake is different, and each one has a beauty of its own. And even if its beauty is only known by itself, it doesn't matter. It's fulfilled its purpose. And that's what we need to be. We need to, in whichever way we see our life, whether we see something solid or something liquid or just vapor, we need to be the most beautiful us. And we need to believe that we are the most beautiful us that we could be. So the Tao Te Ching is talking about a day that will come. I remember an exercise, I think it was a meditation that I did one time, and the person who was leading the meditation said, get off the earth, watch it spin round about 100 years, and then look back, because you're not there now. My dad used to say, in 100 years from now, that will all be quiet. So the thing is that we've all got a limited amount of time here. And if you were to do like the meditation that I was involved with, go into the future 100 years, you look back, maybe you see the influence that you've had on this earth. Maybe it was for good, maybe it was for bad, but the fact remains that you're not there. Okay, some people may still be here. It's highly unlikely after 100 years, but if we say 120 years, then you're not there. So what of it? The beautiful Emily Dickinson poem I quoted in my poem, the summer's nimble mansion gone. That's it. It's over with. And we leave, you know, there's very few people complain when they're leaving. It's just a lot of people just fall asleep and they don't wake up in the morning. So the Tao Te Ching invites us to imagine that day after we breathed our last and the world goes by without us. And it asks us to think about that. And then it comes back with the idea that rather than waiting to die, maybe we should allow the ego part of us, the bit of us that wants its own way, let that die now. And you can rise above the earth already. You don't need to see it spin around 100 or 120 years so that you can believe that there is nothing here worth holding on to. The earth and this 3D, 4D life is transient. It might be as long as 120 years, but it comes to an end. It's a transient thing. And suggesting that holding on to a fading epitaph is just not, you can walk around the graveyards of Eyam, and you can see the people who've died in the past, and it's carved in stone, and it'll say something about that individual. Sometimes it'll say what they were, who they were, what they did, and does it really matter? They're not here. It's not going to make any difference to your day. You might have your thought buds enhanced by looking at the grave, but it's a fading epitaph because it's running out. The stone is being washed away. Some of those gravestones are completely blank now because all the writing has been worn away with the wind and the rain over the years. But the life of no fear begins when you're not really bothered what people say about you. When you're not bothered what will happen because you know that in 100, 120 years, you're not actually going to be here, and it doesn't really matter anymore, then you can begin a life of no fear, and you can smile and laugh. If you look at those Buddhas, they're always laughing, aren't they? And it says here that you should allow the Tao, which is the way, to decide when life begins and ends, and without fear for your remaining days on earth, you can spend. How about that? How about living today, tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month, next year, next decade, however long you've got left here, without any fear of what people say about you, of what the implications are of this and that. Just let the ego be dead, living like you've already died, and then you can laugh and smile. So that's my thought for the day, and I'm going to read the poem again, and then I'm going to end the broadcast. So, no fear. Melting into the oneness like a snowflake, beautiful, solid, liquid vapor, just like me and you. The day ahead when you and I will just be quiet dust, our summer's nimble mansion gone, and we'll leave humanity without fuss. Imagine then the day when you have breathed your last, the world goes by without you, and this life for you is past. Die to your ego and let your desires leave. Rise above the earth now so you can believe. Have no desire to hold on to a fading epitaph. Your life of no fear has begun. You can smile and laugh. Allow the Tao to decide when life begins and ends, and without fear, your remaining days on earth, you can now spend. Namaste.